have its own lay delegate that would represent it at annual conference, but it also, each local church also controlled its membership. So the denomination was not giving oversight to its membership rolls, and also each local congregation owned its own property. The United Evangelical Church and the Evangelical Association continued as independent bodies until 1922. In 1922, there was a movement towards merger, and the merger was consummated. The Evangelical Association and the majority of the United Evangelical Association merged to form the Evangelical Church. But a minority of the United Evangelical Church, located here in southeastern Pennsylvania, with some scattered congregations in the Midwest, felt that the concerns that they had about congregational leadership and lay equipment for ministry were not being taken seriously in the merger movement. And so they determined to stay out of that newly merged body. They had to choose a new name, however. And later in the 1920s, they chose the name Evangelical Congregational Church that has continued today and has stayed true to those principles of equipping laity for ministry and its heritage of Congregationalism.
We hope you've enjoyed this presentation of Evangelical Congregational Church history. In 1999, this history was first published in a brochure form. I'd like to read to you from the conclusion of the history that was published at that time, because I think it's relevant to where we are today as a church. If you carefully examine the most popular books and seminars in the American church today, you will find the themes of evangelism, piety, and holiness. Our church tradition was founded upon the premise that we ought to be seeker-sensitive. We joined the Methodists in establishing the first and most extensive networks of small groups that our nation has ever known. Experiencing God was the intent of our class meetings and prayer meetings, as well as the protracted meetings for revival that were so prevalent in our churches. At an NAE convention in the late 1990s, David Maines, Chapel of the Air, and Paul Cedar, Mission America, identified holiness as the crying need of the American church if we are to experience an awakening and revival. Holiness of heart and life is a cherished doctrine of our church and a great need of our church and nation today. Finally, what local church would not warmly embrace a congregationalism that empowers the laity and enables the congregation to withdraw from a denomination that grows increasingly liberal, even apostate? Congregationalism was never meant to make a church's property its first priority, and the trustees its most powerful leaders. Congregationalism was intended to free a church to aggressively evangelize and effectively minister to its community. We are convinced that the rich heritage of the Evangelical Congregational Church positions us for healthy ministry in the 21st century. We have everything we need to minister to this generation. Will we accept the opportunities that God has placed before us? Will we be a church marked by evangelistic fervor, personal piety, and holy living? These are the questions that require an answer, and they require an answer from you and from me. May God bless you as you seek to follow in the footsteps of our forebears, men and women who possess an evangelistic fervor, a deep devotion to Jesus Christ, and who were on a quest for holiness of heart and life.